as Fields in motion. Field of 6 lining up for the opener. They're all set to go. They're off and pacing. Nuke, there it is. We'll get the first call. Nuke, there it is. Opens up by 2 on Panther Spur. Then it's a length and a half back to Laugh Center, racing third. 2 back to Royal Wings in 4th. Inishmore racing in 5th. And in 6 to the quarter, Mr. Johnny. Midway around the turn, the favorite, Nuke, there it is. Leads it by a length and a half over Panther Spur. Off that station, 28-3. On to the backstretch. Nuke, there it is. Leads it a length. Panther Spur racing in the pocket on the outside. Comes Royal Wings and Morgan. Right in behind him, Inishmore. Laugh Center saves ground. Mr. Johnny is on the move. Approaching the half. Royal Wings forging to the top. Nuke, there it is, will yield. Inishmore on the outside, park third. Panther Spur is 4th. Laugh Center racing 5th. Mr. Johnny trails. Half in 58-4. On to the far turn. Royal Wings leads it. Inishmore flanking him. Nuke, there it is, racing in 3rd. On the outside, Laugh Center is 4th, about 5 off the lead. As they come to the top of the stretch, then it's Panther Spur, not traveling very well. Mr. Johnny, he trails. Off 3/4, 127-3. Royal Wings out there by 2. Nuke, there it is, trying to chip away. Here he comes. On the outside, Laugh Center gains 3rd. Panther Spur racing in 4th, and falling off the pace is Inishmore. In deep stretch, Nuke, there it is, now takes command. Nuke, there it is, on the inside. Panther Spur is closing in. It's Nuke, there it is. Panther Spur, Laugh Center, up for 3rd in 156 flat. 1-2. Here they come. They're off and pacing. JD's Fella out in a hurry in the middle of the track. King's Cub also came away well. Those two a length and a quarter ahead of Loghouse racing 3rd. Length and a half back to Roguish Fella in 4th. Then falling in, Brian's Bombshell. Santorico parked on the outside. To the inside of him, Park Lane Express, and trailing to the quarter, Some Kinda Tough. JD's Fella on top, a tight length over King's Cub. Opening quarter, a quick 27-3. A race up the backstretch. JD's Fella in command of the pace. King's Cub tracking in 2nd. 3 back to Loghouse racing 3rd. Another gap of 4 to Roguish Fella. Brian's Bombshell angles out in 4th. Santorico racing on the outside in 5th. Park Lane Express saves ground in 6th. Some Kinda Tough is at the end. Off the half, 58-1. JD's Fella still leads it. He's out there a tight length. King's Cub right in behind. Loghouse launching from 3rd. Brian's Bombshell, 2nd over with cover. Right in behind him, Santorico, the favorite. About 6 to make up, but he's gone a long mile. Roguish Fella to the inside of him. Then it's Some Kinda Tough. Park Lane Express is hemmed in towards the rear. Approaching 3/4. JD's Fella out there by 2. He's trying to get away. 3/4, 128-2. JD's Fella, the one to catch. They're 3/16 out. They're on their way home. JD's Fella leads it. King's Cub trying to wear him down. Roguish Fella racing third. Now Park Lane Express last at the top of the stretch. Now third and gaining with every stride. Far outside, moving up Santa Rico. In deep stretch, JD's Fella leads it. Here comes Santa Rico. JD's Fella from start to finish at 25-1. Acta returns $161 even. Trifecta for $2, 573, 1,599 even. And the 1-5 daily double. Field of 10 lining up. Here they come. They're off and pacing. Safari Joe takes command quickly. Safari Joe opens up by 2 on Sulin Dan, who is a length and a quarter in front of Play the Spirit. Then it's a length and a half to Say It So. Robbie's Lambada racing 5th. Gap of 2 to Stand the Man Musial. Then it's Burmata Road racing on the outside around the turn. Mossy Creek. 2 trailers, El Tiburon and Fleetwing off the quarter, 29 seconds. They race up the backstretch. They're all in behind. Safari Joe, he's out there a length and a quarter. Sulin Dan getting the trip for Morgan. Length back to Play the Spirit racing 3rd. Length and a quarter back to Say It So. Then it's Robbie's Lambada. He's off the cones. On the outside, Mossy Creek picks up cover. Stand the Man Musial saves ground. El Tiburon on the move. Then it's Burmata Road and Fleetwing approaching the half. Safari Joe has had it his own way. He's out there a tight length, 58-4. Safari Joe now by 2. Sulin Dan stalking 2nd. Play the Spirit saves ground 3rd. Robbie's Lambada now inching a closer 3rd. Play the Spirits back to 4th. Mossy Creek is poised on the outside for McGee. On the inside, Say It So. Then it's El Tiburon, Stand the Man Musial, and far back, Burmata Road and Fleetwing. They're in the stretch, a quarter of a mile to go. 3 quarters, 1:28-4. Safari Joe leads it. He's starting to get away. He leads by 3. 3/16 to go. They're on their way home. Safari Joe leads it by 2. Sulin Dan stalking in 2nd. Robbie's Lambada racing 3rd. On the outside, El Tiburon. And now Stand the Man Musial comes on. Down to the line, it's Safari Joe in front. Sulin Dan, Robbie's Lambada 3rd at 1:56-4. In 20 minutes from now, $2 exacted, $2 trifecta wagering. 4th race is John Mayer's 50th birthday race. No changes. Here they come. They're off and pacing. Buggenhouse out in a hurry for Nax. Far outside, moving up Mr. Checker. Herman Frisco also left well. From the outside, here's Mr. Checker to take command. Buggenhouse will yield in 2nd. Splendid Appeal is 3rd. A length in front of Herman Frisco racing in 4th. Broadway Chaperone in 5th. Another length back to Tony Morgan and Morning Racer. They all go off the quarter, 28-2. They race up the backstretch. Mr. Checker on top, a tight length over Buggenhouse. A length back to Splendid Appeal. Broadway Chaperone on the move. Now driving from 3rd, Splendid Appeal. And Brian Carpenter, they're after the leader. Mr. Checker, Buggenhouse right there in 3rd. Broadway Chaperone. Looming on the outside, 4th. Herman Frisco off the cones. On the inside, it's Morning Racer. Then it's JJ's Handsome Man, Red Cap, Cold Encounter, and your trailer by the half, Let's Go Lou, 58-3. On to the far turn. On the inside, it's Splendid Appeal. On the outside, Broadway Chaperone. Their strides apart. Mr. Checker right there in 3rd. On the outside, it's Herman Frisco. Then it's JJ's Handsome Man. On the inside, Buggenhouse is pushed back to sixth. Approaching three-quarters, Broadway Chaperone on a short lead. Splendid Appeal is starting to drop back. On the outside, moving up, here comes JJ's Handsome Man. Three-quarters, 129-4. JJ's Handsome Man, but not for long. Now it's Cold Encounter. An eighth of a mile to go. Cold Encounter takes command. Broadway Chaperone is there. Buggenhouse now, a late rally. Here comes Buggenhouse. Cold Encounter has them all at bay. It's Cold Encounter, Buggenhouse, and Broadway Chaperone in 158-2. Picking up speed. Here they come. They're off in pacing. Mega Dittos and Silver Wolf. The first two to show speed. Gold Star Sandstorm moving out right with them. 13-year-old Silver Wolf now in command of the pace. Mega Dittos racing in second out in the country. Up on the rim in third, then it's Gold Star Sandstorm racing fourth. A length back to Road Commissioner racing in fifth. Another length back to Eggy in sixth. Janimal unhurried in seventh. Right in behind him, Ruffian Dancer, your two trailers, Swinging Society and Slumlord. Off the quarter, 28-2. They race up the backstretch out in the country. Leads it 15-1 long shot in command of the pace. Silver Wolf right there in the pocket. Length and a quarter back to Mega Dittos in third. Another length back to Gold Star Sandstorm. Eggy launching from fifth. Road Commissioner to the inside of him. Janimal moves up with cover as he jumps into the action. Then it's Ruffian Dancer, Slumlord, and Swinging Society. Off the half, 58-3. On to the far turn. Out in the country, still leads it in Rain DeMiller. Silver Wolf in the pocket. Eggy is first up third. Now Eggy within a neck of the leader. Out in the country with less than 3/8 to go. Janimal looming large for McGee. On the inside, it's Silver Wolf. Then it's Ruffian Dancer with the leaders. Mega Dittos is dropping back a quarter of a mile to go. They're on their way home, three-quarters, 128-3, and now Eggy takes command, opens up by 2. Out in the country is dropping back. Now Janimal takes aim for McGee. Ruffian Dancer racing in fourth. Mega Dittos on the inside, fifth. A 16th of a mile to go. Eggy is in total command. Janimal can only watch as Eggy is now striding out with each and every stride. It's Eggy at 156-1. Then it's a close photo for second between Janimal and Ruffian Dancer. Your fifth race, top down, 9-5-6, 1-2-8-3. Three-year-old Illinois breds lining up for the sixth race. They're all set to go. Here they come. They're off in pacing. Fox Valley Rogue out in a hurry for Pinsky. Master Mark Grace moving right with him. Fox Valley Rogue takes the track a length. Master Mark Grace now drops in behind in second. Hooked on a Feeling racing in third for Anderson. Then it's Nuclear Sun racing in fourth. Casino Fortune in fifth. Garfunkel and Park Lane Dynamite. Midway around the turn, approaching the quarter. Fox Valley Rogue on top. A tight length, Master Mark Grace, and Hooked on a Feeling off the quarter, 29-4. They race up the backstretch. Fox Valley Rogue in command of the pace. Leads at a tight length. Here comes Hooked on a Feeling and Anderson. Hooked on a Feeling with a burst of speed to take command. Fox Valley Rogue will take a back seat for now. Then it's Master Mark Grace racing with those two. A break of 3.5 to Nuclear Sun. And then it's Casino Fortune and McGee. Garfunkel, and Park Lane Dynamite. Race by the half, 59 and 4, comfortable pace. Hooked on a Feeling, leads it by a length and a quarter. Fox Valley Rogue, tracking in the pocket. Nuclear Sun, first up and third for Stat. Master Mark Grace saves ground fourth. Casino Fortune out there in fifth with cover. Then it's Garfunkel and Park Lane Dynamite. Approaching three quarters, Hooked on a Feeling leads it by a length and a quarter. On the outside, moving up, Nuclear Sun. Fox Valley Rogue is right there in the pocket. Three quarters, 129 and 1. An eighth of a mile to go. It's Hooked on a Feeling. Fox Valley Rogue looking to get out. Nuclear Sun racing third. Master Mark Grace in fourth. Casino Fortune. A 16th of a mile to go. It's Hooked on a Feeling and Fox Valley Rogue. Hooked on a Feeling. Fox Valley Rogue. Master Mark Grace up for show in 155 and 4. The results are official. The 2-3 exacta returns $25.60. The trifecta 234 $206.40. 206.40. Here they come. They're off and pacing. Double Time J comes out the fastest. Double Time J leads at a length. Far outside, here comes Tom Henry and Joe Anderson. Bronze Medal racing in third, a length and a quarter back to New Pitch in fourth. Two in front of If Looks Could Kill. Then it's another gap of two to San Jose Jeff. Right behind him, Isometrics. Then it's Miller Slider. Unhurried for Morgan. A gap of three to Incredible Clown and your Trailer Sports Master. 28 seconds of the opening quarter, and now Tom Henry takes command and settles in on the lead. He's out there by two over Double Time J. Bronze Medal with the leaders in third. New Pitch racing fourth. If Looks Could Kill on the inside in fifth. Isometrics is on the move. Followed up closely by Miller Slider. Then it's San Jose Jeff, Sportsmaster, and far back not going very well, Incredible Clown. Half-timed in 57 seconds, 29-second. Second quarter for Tom Henry, who leads it on the far turn. Double Time J right there in the pocket. New Pitch grinding out a tough first over trip. Bringing up Isometrics. On the inside, Bronze Medal is hemmed in. Approaching three quarters, Tom Henry, the one to catch. Three quarters, 127 and 3. 3/16 to go. They're on their way home. Tom Henry out there by two. Double Time J trying to keep pace. Dropping back after a tough trip is New Pitch, and now rallying from far back. If Looks Could Kill and Isometrics. On the inside, Bronze Medal needs racing room. They're closing in on Tom Henry. Here comes If Looks Could Kill. Tom Henry still there with Double Time J and If Looks Could Kill, both closing fast at the wire. Here they come. They're off. Tough Tank in the middle. Going out aggressively. Passion Ration came away well. Far outside, Touch of Greatness. Tough Tank takes command into the first turn. Then it's Passion Ration with Touch of Greatness racing on the outside third. In fourth around the turn, Cassandra's Gold. A break of two to Camptastic Dancer. Then it's Sheer Grit, Killer Alley, and Flesh and Blood. Quick quarter, 27 and 2. They race up the backstretch. Touch of Greatness takes command. Here comes Passion Ration. The attack for Morgan. Tough Tank Racing third. Cassandra's Gold in fourth. A length to Camtastic Dancer. Then it's Sheer Grit, Killer Alley, and Flesh and Blood. Passion Ration leads it, approaching the half, a tight length over Touch of Greatness. Half timed in 56 and 4. On to the far turn. Passion Ration leads it. Cassandra's Gold now moves within a half length of the leader. Touch of Greatness right there in third. Camtastic Dancer jumps into the action. Second over in fourth. Tough Tank Racing in fifth. Then it's Flesh and Blood, Sheer Grit, and Killer Alley. Approaching three quarters. Passion Ration leads it a half length. On the outside, Cassandra's Gold is bearing down three quarters, 126 and 1. Cassandra's Gold between them. On the inside, Passion Ration, and now Camtastic Dancer takes command. It's Camtastic Dancer, Cassandra's Gold, and Passion Ration. They come down to the wire. It's Camtastic Dancer in front. Cassandra's Gold close for third between number one Passion Ration. The trifecta, 6-2-1 returns $57 even. Eighth race top down, 3-2-7, 8-5-1. Here they come. They're often pacing. Good start. High Five Bluegrass coming out aggressively. Far outside, Chanticleer and Clark Gable. Now Holly Hill Bow. Four-way battle for the top spot, in Chanticleer now emerges from the pack with a short lead. High Five Bluegrass racing second. Holly Hill Bow in third. Cassie's Ruler racing in fourth. Clark Gable out there in fifth. Just ahead of Alvy Hanover. Then it's Steelhead. Richard Lomont. Two trailers. Men Are Time and Weathered. Quarter 27 and 1. They race up the backstretch. It's Chanticleer on top. On the outside, Holly Hill Bow. High Five Bluegrass right there in third. Cassie's Ruler racing in fourth. Steelhead launching from fifth. To the inside of him, Clark Gable. Richard Lomont jumps into the action third over. And at the end, Men Are Time and Weathered, half-timed in 56 and 4. Chanticleer leads it onto the far turn. Holly Hill Bow parked out there in second. High Five Bluegrass right there in the pocket. Steelhead in fourth. On the inside, Cassie's Ruler. Richard Lomont is winding up from far back for McGee. They're in the stretch. Chanticleer leads it. Off three quarters, 127 and 4. Chanticleer out there by 2. Here comes Richard Lomont. Steelhead moves through between horses. On the outside, Manartheim moves up. Clark Gable racing in between horses. Also coming on, Weathered. Down the stretch, Richard Lomont takes command. On the far outside, it's Weathered. Manartheim in between horses. Richard Lomont in front. 155 and 2. Close for second and third. No changes. $2 exacta, $2 trifecta. Also, the $1 and $2 superfecta being offered on the 10th race. Post time at 23. Here they come. They're off. On the far outside, Incredible Fee and Backlash will do battle early on. Those two going for the lead, and now Backlash takes command. Incredible Fee racing in second. Sentinel up on the rim in third. Racing in fourth, Country Thunder. Two behind him, Stormy Bay, then it's Peter Creek. Jargo, gap of 2 to Broadway Ovation, second to last Just Newcomb, and your trailer Concrete Ribbon. Off the quarter, a quick 27-2. They race up the backstretch. Backlash sets the tempo. In rain to Morgan. Credible Fee right there in the pocket. On the outside, here comes Sentinel for Knox. Country Thunder racing fourth. Stormy Bay is fifth. A length to Peter Creek in sixth. Broadway Ovation comes on in seventh. Jargo racing in eighth. Just Newcomb and Concrete Ribbon half-timed in 58 seconds. Sentinel has made the top. Now leads at Incredible Fee. The challenger, Backlash, right there in third. On the outside, Stormy Bay, well within striking range in fourth. Country Thunder racing in fifth. Broadway Ovation out there in sixth. Just Newcomb comes on in seventh. Quarter of a mile to go. 3/4, 1:28.1. Sentinel and Incredible Fee. Now it's Incredible Fee. Sentinel racing on the inside. Here comes Broadway Ovation and Just Newcomb. Those two now coming on in a hurry. Incredible Fee, Just Newcomb on the outside. Broadway Ovation in between horses. In deep stretch, it's Just Newcomb now striding clear for the win. Broadway Ovation, Incredible Fee, and Country Thunder.